Howdy guys, how we doing? Welcome back to another video of Amikin Survival. How we doing? Hope you guys are well. So today what I want to do is I want to do a little bit of an experiment, and I want to see how much of a difference that does it make between grades of Amidices. So now that we're basically in the latest update, and what's happened is that the D8 dice, so let me go ahead and just show you on screen here. So the D8 dice, what I've got here is a tier 5. Now this is one of the first, or if not the only, item in the game that is displayed as a tier 5 item, where everything else at the moment is up to tier 4. Now the devs have mentioned that this is going to be used a lot later in game for other reasons. So I did call it out in my initial update video that this would be probably pretty much the only dice that you want to use for tier 3 or Evo 3 Amikins that you want to capture. So I could be wrong, because there could be other Amikins involved that we don't know about, and other ones that might just require D8. But the other thing that I needed to point out to you guys as well is, because of that, it's systematically offline. It's not available in the game anymore. So what I'd be looking at and suggesting for a lot of you guys is not to use your D8s until further notice. So it's a little bit of a PSA. Just wanted to point that out to you guys, so you guys are well aware that you shouldn't be using it, because if you end up using them all, they're gone until the dev team decides to bring them back in a future update. Now, at the rate of this game has been progressing, I feel like that probably won't be too far around the corner. So I don't feel like that's going to be a long wait, but we don't know that. So we can't really guarantee things or anything like that until, in time itself. So yeah, for now we are just going to go along our merry way, and what I'm hoping for is hopefully we can find ourselves a shiny coral leaper. So that's something that I'd love to show you guys on camera, but we'll see how we go. So far I can only find just the basic ones anyway, but I did want to sort of show you guys, if we can find a static Amikin, we might be able to sort of exemplify and sort of just illustrate a little bit more as to what I'm sort of trying to explain with you guys today, the major difference between your D4s and your D6s. Now we've got a twinkle over here. If we can find a Peblo, then that'll be one. Here we go. Speak of the devil themselves. Actually, we've got twinkles as well, and I wouldn't mind actually trying to capture one. Pretty much this just guarantees me the capture, so I haven't actually got myself a Twilight, so that's the only reason why I'm doing that. So let's look at this Peblo. Now we can see at the moment it's at 24%. Now we know that all Amikins will have different capture rates depending on level and rarity and evolution and things like that, right? So we can see already I'm at 24%, which gives me that percentage of a chance to capture it without even engaging with the Amikin in combat to wear it down. Now, if we go over to this, we've got our catch mastery. Now, not everyone's going to have catcher specs. Now, this is really only specifically for those that adopted the game very early on and made the initial purchase. I think it was only of a couple of dollars there, but again, that's just something to note. But if we put that up there, that gives us a little bit more on their catch mastery. Now, it doesn't go up by 10. It only goes up by the percentage ratio. Sorry, doesn't reflect the points in your catch mastery. So that's something I wanted to point out as well, because the higher your catch mastery, the percentage is skewed. But again, as I mentioned, different Amikins will have different capture percentages. So I just want to sort of put that in your thoughts there. Now let's do this. Let's go to a D6, and that balloons to 66%. So over 50% chance for you to actually capture this on the first try without having to engage in combat. Now let's get rid of this, and that only brings it down to 64, which is only a 2% representation on how much difference a D6 over a D4 would be. Now if we go to the D8s, again, don't recommend you guys use these until further notice, but that goes up to 72%. So you can immediately see, and the catch mastery there is 900. Your Amidice is 340, and then your D6 is 340, and your D4 is 140. Now even if you put in the specs here, it goes up to 72. Oh, it stays at 72 actually. yeah, doesn't make a difference. So at a point, catch mastery specs for those that actually have them may not be as viable as what people might suggest they could be, or what they were meant to be in the first place. So this has sort of changed the way that has actually worked. So again, just wanted to point that out to you guys, and then as you can see, we go right back down to 24%. So the reason why that I want to sort of point that out is that your D6 is going to be your workhorse. If you've got D4, 100% you're going to be using them, and I would recommend that you guys use them as much as you can, and strictly you want to use them for nothing but Evo 1s, which obviously would make all the sense in the world, but you want to use them on low level Evo 1s, only so that way you guys can pretty much pick up all of your basic Amikins, and then fill up those gauge meters to progress them in the evolutionary stage, so you can actually evolve them to, you know, higher grade Amikins. So that's the only recommendation I would make out of that. But for anything D6 related, yeah, you want to use those for Evo 2. Now, I don't think you'll be able to capture, you can't really capture any Evo 2s with your D4s, which obviously makes all the sense in the world. But again, it's just something that for those that don't know, at least you guys are aware. So I'm trying to accommodate for all of my audience. Yeah. So I know a lot of you guys that would watch my videos already know this, and you're probably just rolling your eyes at me thinking, why is he explaining basic things that we already know right now? I'm explaining those for people that weren't in the know to begin with. So for your D4s, you want to just use these guys for, you know, for your basic Amikin capture. So even if I actually try to capture the Fluffette, it's not going to give me a guaranteed chance, as you can see. Now that we're actually engaging in combat, I've actually got the best chance of capturing one of these guys if I really want to go down that way. So if we do that, now that I've done the singular attack, that'll guarantee me my capture, and I only got a level D out of the deal. So yeah, not always the best. Now the other reason why I'm out here today is to see if I can get some Nexus seeds as well, but they are appearing to be a little bit more heavily guarded than what I would like. So I can always get myself my Blazehorn, push you into the arena, and just basically capture all of these fellas. And get myself another Twinkle, and pick up some more Nexus seeds. Now the reason why that I'm picking up these is obviously for making more D6 dices. So yeah, and I probably would be encouraging a lot of people to go into low level areas just for the sake of capturing you know, your basic Amikins, but also, you know, getting things like your Nexus seeds and making and producing more of those Amidices there. But the offset to that is that you do need to travel into higher end places as well to capture those specific crystals that you can only obtain, I believe, only in Stormforge and higher. Possibly even maybe even Stone Echoes might be another consideration, but just putting it out there so you guys are well informed. Let's go ahead and pick up you, take out this Dewey, and let's just, well, didn't really want to capture that, but we did. Let's just grab this as well. Now I'm rocking some pretty old gear with me as well because I just want to get rid of them. Now that and again, another change in the game, where we used to have the ability to upgrade our weaponry by the use of the equivalent, but tier down weaponry is no longer required. So you're basically just straight up using resources, which I sort of kind of liked. Ooh, let's get this shiny, actually. I want to see, ooh, why did that happen? Okay, sort of missed. Okay, it is what it is. Ooh, level A, nice. Actually, I think I might actually use you for as my candidate for evolving, but we've got a long way to go for that one. And you're only a level 7 too. Yeah, see, with these shinies, you want to make sure that, you know, a lot of them will tend to be your trophy Amikin. Some of them might be even, you know, pretty powerful and pretty good, and you probably just want to use them for, you know, your main Amikin. So, but yeah, let's just continue on, and let's just see if we can find ourselves a Coral Leaper. I don't like my chances, but we can only hope. Now, the reason why that I'm not picking up any essences because I've got a stack of essence at home, and right now it's not the focus that I want to sort of, you know, put my my time and effort and resources into. So right now I'm just wanting to see if I can get a sizable amount of Nexus Seeds, have a chat to you guys about the differences with these Amidices as well. We probably should go over to a higher level area, because that might even show you guys a little bit more on how difficult it might be if you were to bring basic D4s out of D6s, because you might not even be able to use your D4s while you're up there. You know, so we could always do that. I think we might. You are not a shiny, so let's just move on. And unfortunately, we didn't actually find ourselves a shiny after all, which is a little bit disappointing, but that's okay, because at least we're getting a little bit more gained knowledge out of this, and we're just getting a little bit more, you know, a little bit more informed about how this, you know, new mechanic works now. Now they've sort of done a bit of a rebalance, so to speak. So what I want to do is I would like to pop you on and just quickly heal you up, and I might just throw on some gear as well, so at least that way I'm sort of, you know, somewhat ready to go, I guess. So let's go ahead and do that now. So let's swap over, well, let's grab that. I'll grab him, and where is my gun of choice? I'll grab that. Won't need any of that, but I will take this and I will take that just in case. What else have I missed out on here? Don't think I have. Yeah, I think I've got everything here. If I want the specs, I can use the specs if I really want to as well, so we can just pop all of those in, but let's pop all those away and munch on those. And I think the final thing I want to do is just drop that there for now. Alright, so let's head over to Sparkle. Now, you've had the taste of lower end Amikins. Now we're looking at, you know, pretty much right now in the game as it stands, highest level possible. Now you can see right now this is brutal in terms of the capture rates, right? Even the Tsuka at level 3, oh sorry, at 3% at level 37, ridiculous, right? So what we want to do, see if we can actually utilize a D4 in capturing one of these higher end Amikins. As you can see, the capture rate actually increases quite dramatically as well. So I've just gained a 50% chance. Oh Jesus, it's probably not the right thing to do. Let's just quickly get out of there, reset everyone. And the Aqua actually, wow, okay, actually broke out, which I shouldn't really be all surprised. But the last hit, I ended up getting a C level. Now, I don't normally get C level Amikins. Now, that's one thing I wanted to sort of look at as well. Is there a difference if I'm using lower grade Amidices? Would that also translate into the lower grade Amikins that you would capture because you're using said lower grade Amidice? If that makes sense. If I used a higher grade, like a D6, then that should translate into a better Amikin overall. I don't know. That is something that I'm really interested in knowing. Let's see if we can just sort of clear the decks over here and just get rid of what we can. So we've got a Wiblet here. Now everything's pretty constant and pretty consistent, even with the catch masteries. Let's just go ahead and take that off. It goes to 2%. So it's only a 1% increase. Now if we go over here, that gives me a 28%. If I get rid of that, 27%. And I want to get rid of these guys. Get out of here, Zappy. Go away. Alright. Let's just deal with you real quickly before I actually die. Thank you very much. And I got myself a Zapster now because my Blaze Horn had failed. Okay, that's fine. So you can see 27%. Let's go over to the D8. And that gives me a 62% off the bat. So you can see straight away that the difference is quite significant in favor of the D8 dice. Again, like I said, it's not something that we probably should be using right now until the change is made for when we have tier 5 grade Amikins. So that is basically the only reason why I sort of, here we go. And this is what you need as well, the prime shards. So I'm going to actually grab all of that because that is actually important for me. But let's do this. Let's do this. Let's go up to this duplex here. We only got 5%. If if I go ahead and go to the D8, we have 42%. So even that is a massive change in increase in our capture rates. But I think they're doing this on purpose to entice us, I guess, as a player, that we may want to do this and, you know, risk it and capture those Amikins that we wanted to capture that we couldn't capture with a D6, because you will go through a considerable amount of D6 dices. And I did that in my initial video, and I realized that, and I'm thinking, well, it's going to take us a lot more to get anywhere at the moment. And I feel like this is part of the whole rebalancing, the restructure, the rejigment of the game, until I think once more things come out, I think we're going to find that, you know, other elements of the game will start to sort of relax in a way. And I guess in a sense we might actually get the game to stabilize a little bit, but for now it is a little bit off because of this. And it's not a bad thing, because it's still a brand new game. The devs are still trying to sort of work everything out, so you can't really, you know, copy and paste one thing and expect it to work on another game completely. So they're trying things, and I get that, and I feel like they're doing a good job. It's just going to take a little bit longer until things are basically, you know, in a position where it can be streamlined. But for now it's still a little bit janky, which is fine. Can't get that wall toss, so that's fine. Actually, oh geez, let's just get rid of you, Toadster. Okay, and get out of his AoE. Thank you very much. That was actually really close. Just realizing I don't want to keep my D8s there. Like I said, I just want to hang on to them until it's time, until all that sort of changes. But for now, like I said, I think we're in a position where, in a way, we do have the D6 a little bit more convenient to us. So long as you've got the prime shards, you're going to be able to make D6 for days. Finding Nexus Seeds is second to none. You're going to find them in any zone without a problem, and you guys will be able to just make use of that without any issues. Now, who we got over here? So we've got an Akwai. Let's get you in there, into the arena. Thank you very much. I probably wouldn't mind capturing you, only because I'm trying to evolve more of those Aqualisks. So if I can get them, great. There we go. Got ourselves a B grade. So even having a high Amidice is not going to actually save you. So there you have it. There you have it. Now, one thing I've noticed as well is I've noticed in some of the recent updates where they've changed the way that we go to these nests. There's really not a sufficient amount of eggs for you guys to collect. Now, prior to that update, we used to get eggs guaranteed every single time, and you get fewer of these type of nests. Now, they obviously changed it only because that we get different items and resources now to accommodate the new updates, which is fine. But my only concern with that is that they've reduced the egg production. So I'm not too sure why they've done that in a sense. So I'm a little bit worried in that from that standpoint. But like I said, everything's got a reason behind it. We just don't know what that reason is for this. And again, that's just something I wanted to point out to you guys while I have you today. But yeah, that's some of my keen observations. So like I said, your D6 is going to be your workhorse for everything pretty much in this game going forward until new updates arrive and more rebalancing refinements come along as a result. But using the D4 shouldn't be out of the question either, because you obviously want to use those for, you know, for certain attributes. And like I sort of demonstrated as well, you can still capture these higher level Amikins. You just have to put a little bit more time and effort into them to capture them, but the capture rate will be a little bit less. But then again, it's easier to make D4 as opposed to D6, so you know, there's that as well. So all these things come into play, and it's up to you as the player to work out what's best for you. Now for me, at the moment, I don't have as many D6 dices as I do D4. So over the time, you just come into a lot more D4s than what you do with D6 or anything else in between. So it just makes all the sense in the world, you know, to retain them and just use them when you need to. So that is basically where I'm at the minute with all of this. And then until things change, we've only got what we're given, I guess, and we can only just, you know, sort of make use of what we have. And that's basically what I'm doing, just taking advantage of that at the moment until, you know, such time when things do change, and hopefully for the better. But for now, I need to grind. I need to collect a lot more resources because I'm just resource deprived at the minute, and until I sort of get myself to a better position, then, you know, grinding is all that I'm going to be doing for now. The only one thing I haven't done for a little while, and I guess since that initial update, is go into here and take on the Aquaterra's Den, which is going to be something hectic, and I don't know, even with the new updates and some of the rebalancing and fine tuning, is if I'm actually ready for that. So yeah, sort of stayed away from that until I sort of level my player up. But as a byproduct to that, I'm going to need to continue on with the Colosseum and the Colosseum Arena, go through that, and then upgrade my Nexus tree so I can actually go over the standard 45 level limit. And basically, yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with things. It's the only thing that's sort of holding me back in that way. And I guess once I sort of get to that point, then I'm going to have that ability to take on the Aquaterra's Den. Because, you know, I should be a little bit more tougher, a little bit more powerful, and so should my Amikins as well in turn. And it should be a little bit more easier to do the tasks at hand. Now, Zapstar, who do I have here? I don't actually have anyone. You know what? Go in here and take you on. I'm going to see if I can do a bit of flanking work and just take this fella out, and you're actually going to die before I even get to that. But as you can see, even with the D6, it's really 29%. So I've got a 29% chance to capture it even with the D6, and knowing my luck, it's going to slip. Try and capture again. Just going to heal up real quickly and try that again. See what I mean? So it's a lot harder with the D6 to capture these Evo 2s. And especially and it all depends on what type of weaponry that you've got as well. So if I even just take him out, I've just lost that opportunity and I wasted all those D6 dices. But this is where things are at the moment. And that's what I sort of wanted to sort of elaborate here with you guys today. But even though that it's a lot easier to craft all these dices now, it's going to take a lot more effort and a lot more times for you to actually use those D6 dices and to be able to successfully be able to capture those. So it's all relative, you know. You sort of take with one hand and you got to give back with the other, and that's basically how that sort of works, you know, in that sort of analogy. Whether that's the right analogy, but whatever. You guys know what I'm sort of trying to say, and that's what I'm sort of trying to explain to you guys today anyway. But I think that's everything I wanted to sort of accomplish out of this video today. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys for stopping by, checking out this video. As always, make sure you guys leave a like, comment down below, share if you can. If you guys are new to the channel or not and you want to see more, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell icon so you don't miss out on any future videos. Alrighty guys, take it easy from me, and as always, I will catch you guys in the next one.